What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another 3D Hangout. I'm Noe Pedro Ruiz, a designer here. Join me every week. Pedro, my brother, what's up, man?
What's going on, everybody? I'm Pedro Ruiz, the creative tech here at Adafruit, and every week we come to share 3D printed projects featuring electronics from Adafruit.
That's right. This is the show where we combine 3D printing, DIY electronics, smash them together, inspire you guys to make some cool projects, bring their products to life.
That's right. Every week we have a lovely assortment of segments. Start off with...
We're going to start off with segments and clicking around. Okay. What are you prototyping?
It's when we take a look at some of the work-in-progress projects for a future episode.
Work-in-progress project. Layer by layer?
So when we take a look at some of the CAD techniques that we use in building all of our projects.
Shop attacker.
So we take a look at some of the inner workings of the projects.
That's right. And then Q&A on the YouTubes.
Every week you guys have some questions. We've got some answers for you. Just comment on any of the YouTube
Not
videos you
just
see.
answers, recommendations.
That's right. All this and more on 3D Hangouts.
Yeah, you forgot to be news. We got the news. This is I love 3D printing news because this is where we get to share people's projects in the community. You guys, this is where we share your stuff.
That's
Okay.
right, the community is always working on some very awesome projects.
Oh, you bet. All right. Well, how about this? 10% off your order, celebrating shipping. We're shipping something very special. You did it this morning, Pedro, after your coffee.
That's right. Use discount code shipping to get 10% off your order.
Not 10% off shipping, but 10% off your order. I hope that's not confusing.
Yeah, you get free shipping on $200 or more.
$200 and more.
Yeah, so
Okay.
definitely check that out. Expires at 59 p.m. tonight. Only works on items, no bits like gift certificates or software.
That's right. Well, we're going to start it off. What are you prototyping? Last week, we shared a lot about the chess set. We shipped it we'll talk more about it. Oh, what are you, upside down again? Every day, guys, I'm upside down. All right, well, this is what Pedro's been working on.
Yeah, so this week we take a look at this awesome little 7-inch portable display that can work on your Raspberry Pi, or like I have it hooked up here to my laptop, running it as a Twitter stream. So this is a very awesome little second display that you can use instead of having like a big old display on your desk. And have one of these cool little guys. So we have a Power Boost 1000C inside here, so you can recharge the little 2500
That's little.
App.
That's a big ass amp.
I've seen bigger ones than these.
Of course, yeah. But that's the biggest one we have that's in that sort of high density little cell.
It's so small.
Yeah.
That's right inside here. Of course, you could fit a Pi somewhere in here. I'll probably use that or do that as a project later down the line. But
again, this is the HDMI backpack, the 7-inch version. You have a similar project that you did a couple of months ago. This is the 5-inch kind of version of it. No power boost. This is using the UBEC. That's the buck converter to make this guy over here work. Well, who is this guy? This is a one of those Canon batteries for cameras. Mm-hmm. The LPE6. So we actually we have this in the shop and another Nikon and a Sony one, I think. Yeah. But this is different projects if you want to do your DIY camera monitor. Pedro, tell us why you might not want to do a DIY camera monitor. I can't get this fricker in there.
Yeah, so anyway, we want to advise you not to pick this up if you are planning to use this on the camera.
Here's
the
why.
chipset that is inside here doesn't do scaling, so it's just not going to know what to do with something that's not properly scaled. So the Canon camera, maybe if you use Magic Lantern, you'll be able to set the resolution on it, but this is what happens when you plug it in. So if you are planning on building this project, do not build this to use it on your camera.
Unless you want like an Instagram
not even.
prop.
This only gets like half of your screen.
Jeez.
So definitely not good for that. It is, though, an excellent little second display monitor, or when we need to do a little troubleshooting, we have like 8 Pis hooked up to all of the printers back there. We can just hook that up and see, whatever troubleshooting stuff we can do to it.
Okay.
But definitely get this if you want to use it as a second display for your computer or Raspberry Pi.
Absolutely works wonderfully with the Raspberry Pi.
You're gonna have to do a couple of things if you want to get the power boost in the battery to properly get power to it.
Yeah,
so if you cut over to
here it is. So this is what the back of the unit looks like. This is where you solder all the stuff for. This is just ground
power,
5-volt for power, right? So tell me, what did you end up having to do somewhere over here? What are these guys?
These are all the traces for adjusting the backlighting on there. So we actually did that with the little 5-inch, where you're able to adjust the backlighting on that.
Okay.
Because there's so much backlighting coming off of the
Maybe you can put the battery back
computer here, we had to cut both the 50 milliamp and the 25 milliamp pads off there, so we can get the dimness all the way down to where it's not so power hungry.
So by default, this thing is power hungry, and it's making these things work. So if you want to break the trace, how did you break the trace with it?
Yeah, so we're just using a hobby knife to cut the trace on there.
Okay.
And this is actually what we had to do with the camera backpack. We cut the trace and then we hooked it up to a little slide switch so we can turn that on and off.
That's convenient. So if you go out in the sunlight, maybe you want to save some power, you don't want all that brightness in your face. There you go. You got the option to do that there. Cool. And this is the learning guide. All the stuff to EEPROM stuff and maybe even some config for the Raspberry Pi. Very straightforward stuff that you need. You just need to tell it, hey, I'm 800 by 480 running at this frequency there. Okay. It's got that TFP 401 driver. That's what's making it go.
Yeah, so we are trying to get the chips that'll be able to do proper resizing so we can hook it up to a camera. So definitely keep an eye out for that one. We'll let you guys know when we have access to those. But
nice nails.
For the time now, perfect second monitor for your computer or Raspberry Pi.
Okie dokie.
Check that out.
If you folks want to pick this up, don't pay full price. How's that? Is that a good segue? Don't pay full price.
You get 10% off. Use discount code shipping during checkout.
Okie dokie. Well, let's go back over to the show. Here it is over there. Anything other cool notes you want to know? Oh, we'll talk more about those in layer by layer. We're talking about the sort of the design.
Which is actually next. Let's go ahead and jump into that.
Okay.
So this is actually the first project that I made inside of Fusion 360.
All right, Fusion 360. Here we go, man. So this is the file. Let me show you just how crazy Paige has been working on this guy. 57 versions. You get everything logged here. That is awesome.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not done with it yet.
Yeah, no,
there were a couple of problems here with the standoff. So I've been prototyping everything on the PrinterBot Plus, and all the alignment for the standoffs were working perfectly until I wanted to get a better finish. So I switched over to the Rep 2 to print out this case, and lo and behold, freaking standoffs don't line up. So this is...
It looks good here,
I like to highlight this. This is why we give out all of the original solids files, because there's always going to be a point where either we have a supplier that changes on us, or we have tolerance issues between different printers, between slicing, between nozzles.
Filament sizes.
I mean, there's always going to be a point where something changes when you're using something, a different setup for someone else. So we recently had comments in the one of our videos that the libretto standoffs weren't matching.
Goodness, yeah.
And it's a sort of weird one since
I feel sad because it's like it feels like it's our fault. But hey, this is why we say in the video, every one of our videos, download it and customize it to fit your printer. We really mean that.
Yeah.
Like,
because it's totally not going to figure. Whatever we do, you probably don't have the same settings. You absolutely don't have all the printers that we have. So it's definitely going to come out different. So that's why you guys...
Not all the time, though. It's just that it's either will or the don't. It's hard to know when it will or not. That's why we also have recommended slice settings in our... And we tell you which printer we use,
so
which filament we use.
if you want to build any of the projects, you have to put your big boy pants on, your big girl pants on, get into some CAD, move things around. That's all you really have to do. Just move things around, measure it.
So is that what you're going to do here? I think that's why Fusion made it a lot easier. You already have a nice group of them. There they are there before you sort of merge them to the thing. But yeah,
so just got to move these a little bit over since they didn't really line up when I moved over to the Rep 2. But yeah, this is why we give all the files away. And we can quickly look at a little tour here of some of the cool differences that we're able to do inside of Fusion.
Yeah, I want to highlight...
able to do inside of 123D.
Sure. I want to highlight
things
this
like the floating standoffs over there.
Yeah, these guys here. So we call them floating standoffs because they're not grounded. They're not stuck to the ground there. They print floating. But this is cool. You added a fillet, which is not a chamfer. I usually do chamfers, but a fillet is actually a pretty neat approach to this. Tell me why you use this fillet.
Yeah, so inside of 123D, chamfers was the only thing you could do. So it didn't actually go inside. It would go on the outside and actually have all this wasted material that was never going to be used. Like we're able to do chamfers inside that because even with our least optimized fan-placed printers, there was no curling that occurred when printing these little guys out. So definitely a better way to build these.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the little timeline here. You can see where you did the fillet, and you can actually edit the feature here. Very, very, very useful. Instead of having to delete it and reapply it, you can just modify it here and bring it back forward to the time here,
Yeah,
which
still
is
some
really
weird,
cool.
Still some weird bugginess though. I really would have loved to grab the already joint or combined standoffs there that I need to move on.
Yeah, last
but
week, right? I showed you that you guys can like tweak faces and stuff. Uh-oh, I can't do that here.
Yeah, for some reason it's not coming up.
It's
So
gone.
yeah, you can't.
Someone
really
at
move that
Autodesk
around.
needs to help me out.
Yeah, so luckily I have, you're able to keep all of the tools that are saved before you do a combine on
They're
it.
right there,
So I'm just going to
actually.
go in there, you can actually just show it, show it like that.
Sure.
Go to the original one, just delete it, move it over.
Oh, yeah,
after I
yeah,
reference
sorry.
where it
Yeah,
needs to
right
be,
here.
and
You just
then
kinda-
just recombine it.
There you go. Like it never happened. But again, you got nice versioning too, so you can go back in there if you want. If you weren't smart and didn't save your tools like I did.
Yeah. And so the
Another cool thing, another
the
thing I wanted to
quarter 20
highlight.
there.
Thank you. What is a quarter 20? What is that?
Yeah, so it's the little,
Holy shit.
if you're doing a lot of videos, definitely you should pick up a little pack of these guys, which is just a little converter that lets you hook up to a
It's a
tripod.
thread insert, yeah? You
Yeah,
just-
thread insert that you
just thread
can-
it into here.
You can adapt to any, it's universal to all the tripods.
So you got it on this guy here. That's what happens there. I also put on Kippa,
Mhm.
but you added 2 of them. Tell me why you think it's a good idea to add 2.
Well, if I didn't have those ports on the side, I would have added 3.
Oh.
So this is the small dog,
Small HD?
small HD, I keep calling it small dog.
Why is it small dog?
Yeah, so everybody in the camera world knows that you always have a bunch of these because you're always going to want to attach this to a rig, like a shoulder rig or something, and you want to attach lights or like a boom mic or something, so you always need more attachments onto it.
Yeah.
And I would have added another one if I could have on this one, but the reason I have one on the bottom here is so you can have a cool little portrait style 4.
Oh, this is great, yeah. This is portrait mode.
Yeah,
is
so
really
Tweetbot
cool.
fits perfectly inside here.
Tweetbot.
So yeah, when you're working, you want to keep up with things going on. It's a nice little way to, just sort of have it right next to your laptop, and boom, like that.
Yeah, no, it's a really great little thing. So if you want to pick up these little, what do they call them? Thread insert tripod dealies, you can check this out on Amazon and get yourself a pack of them. We're using it in a bunch of different projects, like you're saying.
Yeah, and the HDMI cables that we're using for all these, we do have in the shop as well.
These are the
These
smallest ones
excellent
I've seen.
Small. You can see how big this one is, and then we have
Sure.
a nice flat, shorter one. I've actually used this in 2 projects so
The
far.
Mini Mac Pi project and the Super Game Pi project, both use them, but I would actually probably use these now that we have them.
Yeah, you
These
have
are
a
probably
bit
good
more
for other
bendability.
things. Yeah, more bendability. There you go.
But if you need something small,
Bendability.
say if you're just having it barely or bare attached to like the back here with no enclosure, it's really nice for that. Nice little. You don't have to like sort of coil anything up, have like messy wire everywhere.
Sure, yeah.
But definitely check it out if you want to build a second screen. The video for this will come out in 2 weeks or something like that. So,
Folks, if you want to pick up the HDMI Dilly Willy and this cool screen and the power boost and the battery, I think the slide switch too. Yeah. Don't pay full price. It's 10% off your order, not 10% off shipping.
yeah, you got to spend $200 more. You'll get free shipping. So if you're getting a printer, great deal for you guys. Pretty bad for us, but
Great for you, bad for us.
we like helping out the customers.
Of course. So that was our layer by layer segment. That's about it. Yeah. So you're working on the project. We'll release the thing. We'll start
Pretty soon, yeah.
taking photos of you soldering, which is
Yeah,
really fun.
so little banter here. This was supposed to be finished by this week, but oh my God, the
Uh-oh.
crappiest 4th of July weekend
Oh,
ever.
yeah.
We had our AC,
Powwow time.
AC break on us, and our internet went down right
And
on the
internet went
3rd.
down? So how did we get any work done?
Oh my God, in the heat, sweating. We have 3 big old lights that we had to have turned on while we were doing all the photography and the filming for that. So we were just sweating bullets,
Oh, it was
barely trying to
terrible.
make it through.
Yeah, we
Luckily-
went out and bought like a little AC unit. We're like, oh, this is plenty. It didn't do jack. We had to go back and return it. We had buckets full of water that we had to keep emptying out because there's just so much water in the air.
Yeah.
We didn't
So
print anything though because
never buy a 8,000 BTU.
was that the tip here? Never
Yeah.
buy 8,000 BTU. Always go for the 12 or the 1,300 BTU.
No, but they finally installed the new AC unit yesterday with this
Yeah.
ginormous 5-ton, like it's taller than me, like
Yeah.
humongous
It's pretty big.
AC.
It's
So
the biggest one they make, and of course that the AC unit was I don't know, built with the house about 15 years ago. So a lot of technology has changed. Now they have microcontrollers and whatnot in them. So soon we'll be hacking our AC unit. I don't know. All right, we're gonna go to the next thing here. Here we go. Shop top coming up.
Yeah, so this week's coupon code is shipping because
Yeah.
you can finally ship the chest out down to
This thing took a
Adafruit
month to build,
headquarters.
folks. Probably more than that, more like 2 years. Like we were saying when we first went up to Adafruit's headquarters last year. That was one of the projects Phil really wanted to put together, a chess set with using the Circuit Playground characters. It just took forever to get to it because we didn't have the right tools and things. Now we have metal filament. We got a really good printer, the Type A machine. We did a couple projects to learn how to properly finish, and we actually learned quite a few new tips and techniques that we're going to share with you guys in the video for this thing. Yeah, Pedro, you did a good job on managing this project, and here you are shipping it. Just a quick tip: bubble wrap is great. I don't know. It's like you did every little individual piece because it's all precious and whatnot.
There's especially like
Don't wanna drop it.
like the Adabot who has like little tiny ear pieces and things like
Yeah.
that. You want to make sure that none of that is.
There he is, right there,
What happens with that?
helping us ship.
Yeah. So if you're interested in how much this weighed, it was about 5.2 pounds.
Yeah, it was pretty heavy.
This is an interesting, cool shot here that
Yeah.
you got for one of the.
Remember that skateboard, the hoverboard thing we were talking about? Well, I want to do a quick little shot, and man, it is like harder than flying a drone for aerial photography. So not only are you constantly, trying not to fall off the thing, you have to kind of spot yourself, make sure your balance is good, and your composition is good, and your speed is good, your pacing.
That's just this type of shot though, because of how complicated it is
Yeah,
trying
plus
to
I'm
spin
like-
around, keeping it framed up.
Trying not to bump into the thing, but it's kind of smooth. The
Yeah, it's pretty smooth.
fancy schmancy iPhone thing here has built-in hardware image stabilization, so that helped, I bet. And it's just a little skippy here because cam twist is like 32-bit, not 64-bit. Sorry, folks. That's why we're at 720p. Anyway, cool shot. Just a sneak peek of the shiny, glorious-looking chest elegance that you'll soon see. And
Yeah,
there you
they're gonna shoot some more footage over there in the shop of people playing.
Yeah,
have
we
a
took plenty of
cool,
photos and things. We
got a
whipped
chess
out our
team over there.
Oh
We
yeah,
have,
yeah, the chess tournament.
photography
Tournament.
and a very cool video
Yeah,
of that in action.
The Andrews. Yeah, it was really fun. Sad to ship it because now it's I don't get to
It
see
takes forever if we want to print another
Oh
one.
man, it'll take another 3 weeks. No, that 3 week included designing it from scratch. So.
Well, it was more than that. It was
And then
learning
learning
Fusion
CAD.
too.
Yeah.
So that's really what the bulk of the time was in.
Yeah.
That and trying.
Managing-
Well, we're prototyping it too. We printed it with as least shells as we could to try to optimize. How
Absolutely.
many spools
a
you
lot of
need.
experimentation on since they're different shapes. You really have to keep playing with the settings because you want to optimize them. So you don't want to keep wasting the material. So that and tolerance testing for all the pieces. We go over all of this. I don't want to spend too much time on it because probably already have now. But
Yeah. Let's go ahead and cut into the next segment.
all right, that was shop talk. We talked a lot about the shop. Next up, we're gonna do Q&A. This is where we answer your YouTube questions, folks. Thanks
That's
so
right,
much
if
for
you guys
asking
have-
questions.
If you guys have questions, go ahead and leave it in any of the videos. We have the studio app on our phone, so we will see them bubble up.
Bubble up. All right, first one. This one's from Kenneth on the 3D printed Raygun Blaster. Oh yeah. Hey, really cool. Has anyone asked about the Battlestar Galactica original series blaster? I know that and a Star Trek original Phaser 2 would be. That's what I'd like to see. The original series of Battlestar Galactica, not that Star Trek Galactica. Well, that's a good point.
So you have worked on a very cool
Hey.
upside down.
Sure, upside down cake. Yeah, so check this out. This is the Raygun Blaster that the question was talking about. This is a great example of making a Ray Blaster prop thing. But this is really cool. This is so the code was written by Tony DeCola, who's one of our remote engineers. And this is really cool. It uses math, it uses interpolation to make a cool sort of NeoPixel blast of light.
Yeah, so
it's
there's
cool
three
'cause it
different
bl-
points.
Yeah,
it
three
has a
different
start, middle point, and an end sound
Oh, yeah,
effect. So
yeah.
if we're having the sound effect board
sound
in here.
effects board plus the
We have
Pro
a-
Trinket. You got a charger in there. All
We
sorts
have a
of
cool little
fancy
speaker
stuff.
in the back here. So here's what happens when you hold down. You start the first sound,
Yeah,
middle sound,
and then release sound.
and release.
Yeah, this is actually a little bit different. This is using NeoPixel goggle code and then just having an if statement on the trigger thing. But the interpolation stuff I'm talking about, you should check that out too, because this one isn't as elegant. It kind of stops. It just starts to stop. Tony's crazy interpolation math code is really what you want to try out. But right now we have quite a few projects in the pipeline, as always we do, but that's another one we're definitely going to consider. But
as a little sneak peek, we are working on a Star Trek related
telecommunicator. We got that fancy phona, so we're gonna do that. And we just saw on Boing Boing that there's a Bluetooth one for like $150. It's coming out next year in January. We're gonna try to beat you guys to it. So yeah.
We'll have a real one that has a real cell phone with a real monthly bill.
Oh, see, that monthly bill is what you want on your.
That's what makes it
Star
real.
Trek. This makes it real, guys. Okay, because you would still have to have your phone with the Bluetooth dealie. So fake. And we actually want to make it in metal using the X-Carve. That's cool, right? So Todd, another remote engineer who wants to help out with that one. So that's a cool project. Well, thank you for the for the suggestion. We're definitely going to consider it. Hope that answers your question. And then we'll go to the next one. Next one, this is from Ale Sato. Hey. Hi, I want to print Link's sword, but bamboo is too expensive, and I want to print it with normal PLA. Is it possible for me to do so, or was it specifically designed for bamboo? Also, can I use the LilyPad Arduino with NeoPixels?
Yeah, so the bamboo filament is just PLA with a mixture of the bamboo filament.
Yeah, it's
so you
PLA.
can absolutely use that. There's no tolerance differences between them. When I was doing all the prototyping for this, I actually
use PLA,
printed.
yeah?
I used a whole.
Don't use up your exotic wood stuff.
Yeah.
Use PLA, what you have. So yeah, this is Gunblade too. If you haven't seen Gunblade Alice, check out Gunblade video where you use PLA.
Yeah,
and,
so tolerances are all perfect.
tolerances are all the same.
Another thing you might have to adjust is like the way that these are put together is the little
This one's
skinny
glued.
sticks. Yeah, so that's probably the only thing you might need to adjust, and that's because of the way that the sticks are manufactured. There's probably differences in the wood and things like that.
Sure.
But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing you'll have to edit on that.
Yeah.
That and the Ninja Flex stuff should print out okay as well.
PLA
And
too,
PLA, yeah. So you
Print it
just
all
wanna
in
do
PLA
different
if you have it. Don't print it
colors,
in
yeah.
ABS. I don't recommend ABS because it's going to curl and give you bad time.
Yeah, because of how tall these are. They
Splitting,
absolutely
cracking,
would.
you don't want that.
Yeah.
PLA is the way to go.
Yeah, here's the Ninja Flex.
All
on
of
it,
this is
separate.
PLA, except for the grit. The grip here is Ninja Flex, just like that one is.
So yes, PLA should work, and then you can just
Yep.
paint it whatever color or do whatever weathering on it.
It's
And
good
it
you're paying
should-
attention, Alice, because stuff like with the metal filament, you do when you make snap fit together parts, you do have to adjust your tolerances. So
Yeah, by 0.2 to
0.2 to
0.4.
0.4. Like with the Droney, I had to do a 0.4.
Yeah.
Okay, well thanks, Alex.
Oh
for-
yes, as long as you have the library for the NeoPixels.
Yeah, it'll work. Yeah, it'll work with any Arduino compatible microcontroller.
Yep.
All right. Thanks
up.
for the question. Next up, this one's from Karen. Did you try water or soapy water in Tumbler? This was on last week's video where we talked about tumbling.
No, we did not.
We didn't.
The
We
reason
did not.
being, we need sort of gravity to sort of bring all of the screws down and sort of smash into your object,
Yeah.
sort of give it all that abrasion. That's really what's making all that shine happen.
Yeah, the
That
heat,
and
the gravity is really helping, yeah. So another reason why we didn't do it is because we actually saw Barnacles from Nerdgasm do that. And he put a little bit too much soap and water, had a bad time.
Oh, yeah.
But it really highlights that, that stuff is more for stones and delicate gems and stuff that you don't want to be so abrasive. You want that harsh environment when you're doing the tumbling because that heat is helping it soften up and work. With water, it would not work, man.
Yeah.
So it doesn't work. Anyway, thanks for the question, Karen. Very good one there. And yeah, that's why we didn't use it. Okay, next up, DFW Shuckle asks, what's the moving skateboard called? You want to answer this one?
Yeah, so if you go on Amazon, I think the keyword you have to use is smart balancing board.
Smart balancing wheel, scooter,
scooter.
little different things. If you look on YouTube, you'll find this one guy who did a nice tutorial, nice review on the thing.
Yeah.
Tells you about where to buy it, how long it takes to use it, features, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Some little details you wouldn't know about, but very good review. So
The only
check
thing
it
you
out.
got to keep an eye out for is if you can get the lowest price for that. So I think I got mine for like $350. The reviewer guy got it for like $600. And
Yeah,
if
because he was
you-
in a U.S. distributor. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you check Alibaba, if you're comfortable with that, the sketchiness there.
Give me your PayPal email.
Yeah, I think you get it for like.
I'm in Nigeria.
yeah,
No
I think you get
worries.
it for like $260, something like that.
Pretty cheap, yeah.
Yeah.
But let us know if you get one, and yeah. Thanks for the question. Next up, this one's from Mark Rays. Is the STL for the Droney Awards available?
Actually, no, they are not. But we are going to make them available.
Yeah, we're going to
so
consider
people like popular channels like
Flight Test. Maybe they want to take a whack at doing a little Droney Award thing, and other sort of local makerspace clubs or aerial clubs.
Yeah, it's pretty much like the badges that we have.
They're like badges, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna give out the STL. Give us some time to do it. Maybe over the weekend we'll get to it. But yeah, they will be available. Thank you for the question, Mark the Jeweler. Next up, this one's from Chris Young. It's been 11 months or so since this video was posted. This is on the DIY filament video. I'm wondering if the Ruiz brothers are still using the recycler and if it's worth the effort. Also, I never did see a follow-up video saying how the reserves were recycled plastic. I just recommended my makerspace invest in one of these, but their reaction was it didn't seem to work.
Yes, so anytime you hear us talk about something and you never hear from it again, it's because it probably didn't work. We don't want to embarrass companies or bash products.
No. We don't want to not recommend something.
Yeah. But
the Philipbot's a great piece of hardware. It definitely has its niche, and there's a good team behind it. And we love the concept too, of being able to recycle your. That's great, right? The problem is there's just a lot of effort into that. Yeah, there's just way too much effort. We actually shared a video from Maker Geeks that I think Make put together. They interviewed them.
They showed up, shot a bunch of video, and showed exactly all of the craziness that needs to, like the orchestra of different pieces and moving parts that all need to be
definitely
perfectly
going to need
aligned.
A lot more space than my garage.
You need like all the
to do
freaking all this space of just cooling. It's going like through water to make sure all the tolerances are
pigments
perfect.
And
Pigments
things.
are all perfect.
So many variables, just way too many variables.
So this is totally not worth the effort. All of the space that's required for all of the throwaway PLA that you're gonna have, and then all the tolerance adjusting you got to do, and they don't
just
have
processing,
a coiler,
like smashing it and stuff.
Yeah, and that's another missing piece
kind
of
of
this
dangerous.
whole pie.
Getting dust
crushing
everywhere.
it. Yeah, all that dust everywhere in the air. It's just not safe. So
no, it's not worth it. So unless you're like you want to come up with like the brand new filament that's conductive or something special, that's probably who it's for. Yeah, if you're like somebody who wants to experiment with materials and coming out with your own filament, that's who it's for. It's not even not for us because we want to focus on the projects and the enclosure, the design, and putting it all together.
And a thing that happened right after we did that video as well, filament became a commodity.
We started stocking it.
The prices have just plummeted on all that. It's available everywhere. Like the deal with MakerBot now at all Sam's Clubs. I mean, you can just go to you can
pick up your
filament anywhere now. I mean, it's been
you wouldn't want to do that, but
Micro Center and Home Depot for a while now too. So stuff's everywhere. It's totally not really worth it to recycle and make your own.
And the
especially
ratio.
since the ratio. Yeah.
Was it 20% recycled, 80% all new pellets?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not worth it for us.
So
sorry, Chris Young, but hey, real quick, shout out to Chris Young, who's done quite a few projects with the learning system.
A lot of the accessibility
projects. Very cool
definitely
stuff.
check those out on the learning system.
But thank you for the question, Chris Young, and your concern. Your makerspace definitely knows they're right. And like, hey, man, it's not the best idea. Cool idea. Love the idea. Let's
just not for, especially if they just want to get projects out the door. This will be a big hurdle for that.
Okay, but if you're considering it, definitely check out Philibod. Okay, next up, this one is from James Anderson. I was wondering if you could build me a version of this. Can you? How much would it be? And could you make it a bit bigger with the pie parallel to the bottom and flush with the case and an old-style CRT looking display? Nope. I'm sorry, we don't do custom. We'll do like requests and stuff if it makes sense, but we already did this project and we're not looking to revisit it too much. We don't do commission work.
Yeah, no, we have enough projects.
But you can, see, this is why we give away the project. You can modify it and make it however you want. It's free for you to download, and we encourage that. Also check out Mike Curry's project where he did a little mini display screen. So he found out a cool way how to make the CRT looking display. Yeah. But that's using resin and stuff. You might not want to try that. Maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for the question, James. You can definitely modify, or you could post up somewhere. Maybe somebody will do it for you. I think Adafruit Jobs, you can do that.
Yeah, or on
custom made, solid made, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, this one's from J Truth. Is it possible to just remove everything out of an original Game Gear or Game Boy and put it in there? Put everything in there.
It's a pretty popular thing to do. You definitely do that. You get a ton of publicity for that.
Yeah, a lot of folks like Hacker, they love those type of projects, and so do we. So if you do that, we will totally feature it and talk about it.
The only thing you gotta really do is make some porthole openings for all of the.
What you could do is use 3D printing to make custom mounting things that'll attach to the injection molded Game Gear / Game Boy thing. But yeah, it's definitely a lot more challenging because when you're making CAD, you make everything custom to the part, and that's why it's...
Here you gotta fit everything else.
Yeah, you have to kind of work around your constraints, which is kind of cool too. But yeah, thank you for the question. Yeah, let us know if you make one, Jay. All right, this is gonna be the last question here from Jay Zelsmite, something like that. Sorry. Are there any TFT screens that are plug and play?
Yes, the one that we showed
It's
earlier.
plug and play.
The little.
It's a TFT screen.
TFT backpack, 7-inch, 5-inch, and all you really need is power. If you don't want to do like the whole built-in battery thing here,
You can have it tethered.
you can plug in through USB through here to feed it power.
Okay.
And you have the 7-inch and also the 5-inch. Same deal here. You don't have to use a battery, camera battery or mount or anything like that. You can just have it directly plugged in through USB to feed it power, and then the HDMI. And those are our most friendliest, I think, plug and play screens.
Yeah, another type of plug and play type screen would probably be the Pi TFT screens. Those are specially made for the Raspberry Pi. We have 4 of them. There's a 2.2, 2.4, 2.8, and a 3.5 inch. The cool thing about those is we have an image that's ready to burn that's custom for it. But if you have an image already with special apps on it, you can just do a simple git update to get the utility to make the Pi TFT work. Yeah, so that's how that works. Yeah.
Of course, that's not going to be a dedicated screen for anything to be plugged into.
Only for Pi.
It's only going to be for the Pi.
Yeah, so you have options.
Yeah.
We have options.
Thank you for the question.
Yeah, good question. Well, that's gonna be that was the last question. Thank you guys so much for asking those. If you want to ask your questions, just go ahead and drop them in the comments below on any YouTube video. We'll find them. Next up, how about some news?
3D printing news. We always have some excellent projects from the community.
From you guys. Thank you guys for sharing. First up, this one's cool. Pi Nintendo Ultimate. We've seen a Raspberry Pi Nintendo enclosure before, but this one's a little bit different. So this one's designed by Christoph Beer from Switzerland, Mr. Beer over here. This is he's like, hey man, I want this project, but it's not as good, so I'm gonna make it better. So this is his advanced version of it using the Raspberry Model B, and he's working
on a Pi 2 version.
Okay, and that's good. So this is cool. It has, let me get the photos while you tell me the features.
So the most interesting part here is that he's hooking up a real start and reset button directly to the GPIO pins. He has indicator LEDs, has the built-in Wi-Fi, USB hub.
USB
so
hub.
he...
Where's the hub? Sorry.
Up. There it is. They're in the front. You can see them there. So you just chop up a USB hub and put them in the front there for the controllers. This is an excellent way to reposition these. So cool. He printed with supports, and the buttons really do shut down the Pi. The reset button is connected directly to the hard reset on the Pi.
Yeah, there's a tutorial on the Adafruit Learning System on how to do that.
Yeah, so Brendan came up with this very awesome way to do that.
Yeah, very cool.
So another really cool thing about it is that all the heat sinks that are on here, the fan is controlled with a Python file, which looks for high temperatures for the Pi CPU. Then turns the fan on. That's super fancy right there.
So the CAD is available on Thingiverse. You can download it, print it out. Very cool project. If you've got that itch for nostalgia, I think he did some processing. You didn't talk about the processing, but he definitely painted it and did some dailies so it doesn't look like it's printed. I like the pocket screws. Pocket screws.
Awesome. Yeah, this is an excellent build. And we check this out. You can get it on this Thingiverse page.
Very cool. Okay.
Next up, we have an awesome little robot. This is the Ardrobot 2 Remix by Eden Rigway from the UK.
Yep, this is based off of David's great little Ardubot. He did the original one. So he modified the design, removed the speaker, replaced it with more electronics, a LiPo battery, and a power switch. So it's all nice and optimized.
Very awesome little Arduino Nano inside with an ultrasonic sensor, continuous servo motor, a micro servo, an IR sensor, small little LiPo backpack on there. You can see all the little parts that fit into that awesome little case on the top there.
That's pretty cool.
And you can check out very detailed instructions page on the Thingiverse.
Yeah, there's a little video too. I can show you guys of it running. Here's with the IR remote control, just sort of making it go. So the thing searches its environment, goes where's a nice clear spot, and goes straight. If it sees something in its way, it just turns the opposite way to wheels. And, yeah.
Very awesome.
Or 3 wheels, sorry.
Yeah. So
pretty cool. I like this project.
I'll probably build a variant of this.
Looks like Wally
sometime in the
almost.
future. Yeah.
Wally. Very cool. Yeah, make it in the Wally. Yay.
Very awesome job, Eden.
Oh yeah, totally. Okay. Next up. What is next up? Oh,
this
is cool.
An awesome way to color all of your 3D
Don't tell
prints.
people yet. Hold on. Let me get to the clip. Here we go. Hydrographics. Tell us about Hydrographics, Pedro.
Yeah, so this is using texture mapping on liquid, and it's painting an object.
Real quick,
like
this is
submerging in
this
water.
is normally how it's done, right? Like the texture's overlaid on the water. This approach is a little bit different. So a couple folks came up with this little contraption here that submerges this thing. So tell us about UV texture mapping.
Yeah, so one of the coolest things about this is that you'd have to set up all of your UV textures into a map like you would like if you're working on a video game. So you have, if you're not familiar with this, that's how all the textures are built. You have you have to separate all your pieces of where your geometry is for your character and put it all into one file so there's less draw calls on the processor to make them back to render all of the textures.
So it's quite a process to map that into the right tessellation parts of your model, right?
Yeah, you actually have to rebuild a lot of your UVs so that the textures line up on your model perfectly.
Okay.
And this is great for any 3D, anybody coming from video games doing 3D modeling and that. You can definitely set this up really easy. You probably have a ton of these already made, so you can 3D print your model out and have the texture map right on your model if you want to take this technique.
So they came up with an algorithm that sort of simulates the UV texture map being applied to a surface like that. And just using a regular 2D printer with inkjet, you can print on the special transparent paper type thing. And what you do with that is you submerge it in the water. It's actually just warm water. There's not any crazy chemicals in it. And they spray some sort of adhesive stuff on it. And watch what happens when they dip it in there. They have this nice little mechanism thing that dips it in there. You can see how the part, and I don't think it's a 3D printed part. It could be a 3D printed part. And that's the thing here.
It's the beauty of this, that
so there it is.
It would merge. You would use all the existing files to build on top of this. And this is a much better approach than doing any sort of multicolored printing, since you're not going to need any ooze shields or anything like that. You're going to have miscalibrated nozzles or anything like that.
Yeah, this is a really cool
absolutely
project.
Yeah.
Check out the link for more information on it, and very cool results. So yeah.
Actually, I think these are 3D printed. It might be.
Might be.
You can see sort of.
Anyway, shout out to DIY 3D Printing Blog for finding this one. Very good.
Very cool way.
Okay. Next up,
we got a very awesome LED matrix project ideas.
Yeah. There it is. So this is cool. I just thought this was an interesting project inspiration thing because this was designed by folks at Tft Robot. So they're selling it sort of as a finished thing. So there's no instructions or guide on how to put one together. But this one really reminds me of Phil B's Space Invader project and also our BMO project. So it's like good inspiration stuff. Here's a little BMO if you haven't seen that one yet. And it's pretty much the same dealie. You can pick up the parts obviously from Adafruit or Tft Robot, and using a microcontroller and the libraries for the
little matrix,
the matrix library.
And a very cool little website that you point to in the learning
guide.
Oh,
that's right, yeah.
On how to build the animations for that.
Yeah. So here's what it looks like in person here. Hey, he's missing an arm. I wonder why.
Yeah, I think he
broke
fell.
it. Yeah, he fell. I broke it. I've been dying to revisit this project, folks. Actually, this reminds me of last week. People want me to build the BMO Pi. I'm working on that. It's in the pipeline.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, almost. Look how small it is.
No, but this is definitely one of those projects that we want to rebuild, since we're able to build this a lot better with a lot of the newer components that we have, a lot of newer parts.
Lipo backpack,
silicone
wires, silicone wire.
Newer techniques and modeling we know how to do now.
Yeah.
So this is definitely a project or something like this that we'll revisit eventually.
Yeah.
But if you want to build your own little customized guide, definitely check out the learning guide on how to build the animations for this. And of course, if you just want to build the BMO, all the files are up there for that as well.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, next up. This is a cool one. Let me cut to that. Bam. So this is cool. This is what happens when you see the new Genesis movie. You get a nightmare, and then you want to make yourself a totem. That's what happened here. So, gentleman from Turkey, Tft Screen, I think his name is. Sorry if I butchered it. He remixed this project from
Terminator Genesis.
Well, yeah, he remixed this T8 model. This was modeled in ZBrush by Geoffro, who's on Thingiverse too. He comes up with a bunch of different busts and things. So he took that and said, you know what, I actually want to put it to life. I want to put some real stuff in it. So he put some LEDs in there. He's using the LPD6803 LEDs, so 2 of them. And he's using an Arduino Pro Mini. Mm-hmm. And he's using the source code from Adafruit Learning System, so Phil B's strand test code, and some audio code from brainwagon.org. So it's kind of like a hacky project, but pretty cool because look at that. It's a skull with lights and glow. He's also got his circuit diagram over there you can check out too. It's on Thingiverse. Good example of a good remix, like bring it to life. I had a video of it, but it's on YouTube, so you'll check it out over there. Pretty cool.
Yeah, this is
Great
a way
work.
to do a very,
Yeah.
instead of doing like the same old boring bus where
Yeah,
you
bring it
don't
to
really do
life, like
anything,
remix
yeah.
it and bring it to life, yeah.
Stick some electronics in there.
Instead of
and-
putting like a thing on it, like mixing it with another skull or something. Yeah.
Mhm.
Make it all cool and active. Like, oh, it has sound effects. I forgot to tell you that. It has sounds
yeah.
too, so he was all be back. Yeah, kind of funny. All right. So if you want to pick up some stuff that you saw, LEDs or matrices or filament,
printers,
10% off.
and
shipping.
of course all the electronic components. Use discount code shipping during checkout. Get 10% off, and of course, any order over $200, free shipping.
Yeah. Well, folks, we've reached the end of the show. That is pretty much it.
Got a couple links to leave you guys with.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
Always
let me go
check
through.
us out on.
Where are the links? Oh, right there. There's
Check
the
out
links.
all the projects that we talk about on learn.adafruit.com. It's where they're all released.
Yep.
Before any of the videos come out.
That's right. 3D Thursday, every Thursday. That's where all the stories are on the blog. We have a blog post every hour or so on those days. And be sure to follow us on whatever social media you want to follow us on.
Yep. Always posting cool behind the scenes there.
Yep, but definitely be sure to check out the full lineup of shows that we have, starting off on Wednesdays with Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. You can ask her all about your wearable projects, project workshop, stories, a lot of cool stuff going on there. It's every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. And then later on that Wednesday is Show and Tell. So you can share your projects with Lamar and Phil, Mr. and Mrs. Lady Ada. They come on there every week.
We're always on there every week.
We're always there too.
We always have people asking, why don't you have a show and tell? Well, we do.
It's over there.
Every Wednesday at 7:30.
Yeah.
We're always there to say hi, stop
Yeah,
by.
of course. We want to see your projects. And then after that, right after that, is Ask an Engineer with Lamar and Phil as well. Every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
That's right. Tune in, find out all the latest goings on.
Open source hardware, electronics, Arduino, Raspberry Pi, and more.
That's it for this.
That's it. That's it for this week, folks. Thank you so much for staying tuned with us. And
Keep on printing.
yeah, keep
We'll
on
see you
making.
guys next time.
We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody. And fade.